We're just waiting for the last alert. There we go. We got it. See, we got all these alerts that come up right before we go on. But good morning, everyone. Today is what is today? It is Fantabulous Friday. And good morning, everyone. This is Carol, so AKA Naughty Boss, live with two. I don't know which way you are.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. No, I am not at the, excuse me, the ILKB studio, but just had to do that because I am wearing my Santa shirt, and I was not able to wear this last year because that's when I broke my foot. So I'm wearing it today. I'm going to do a virtual class after this, after the podcast, but it is Fantabulous Friday, and there's so many different things to chat about. And I just want to give a shout out to this gentleman who's been to our house a minimum of 3 times. I know that from Comcast. I don't have a lot of good things to say about Comcast, but this guy is phenomenal. Got the job done, and I'm just so appreciative of that. And so a shout out to him for sure. So Fantabulous Friday, what's happening in your world?
Well, you know, we are officially, what is today? Today is the 17th. So guess what? We are 8 days away from, you know, the kids getting all excited from a jolly old man giving, you know, some great gifts and joy. And of course, we know the holidays is not just about gift giving or revamp what gift giving is, but you know, there's nothing more priceless than seeing the excitement of a child, the anticipation of what this week is. A lot of festivities going around locally and across the country with, you know, there's you know, a lot of Christmas parties, Christmas festivities. Hanukkah, you know, is still going. Like there's just a whole bunch of things that are going on. And, you know, you just get that feeling of, you know, whatever holiday it is that you are actually celebrating, that, you know, the buzz is in the air. The anticipation of the yummy treats, the baking, the labors of love that go into rolling into putting on a holiday if you happen to be hosting. You know, we also call this like Hell Week for mamas and dads, but mostly for mamas. Well, on 2 parts. The mamas are running around doing last minute things that they have to do, whether it's shopping, whether it's coordinating, whether it's getting that special outfit, finding those family pajamas. That's a big thing going on and has been for years. We've got our own collection going and we absolutely love that. We always look forward to, you know, and we keep adding to our collection. So it's now beginning to be going to be like the 10 days of pajamas of Christmas. And, you know, just little new traditions that we're setting up, and we're working our way up to that since, you know, family pajamas kind of came in cool and came in style. But, you know, it's also time for reflection of, you know, what the season's really about. And depending on your religion, depending on your faith, you know, as Christians, you know, we believe that, you know, obviously, we believe it, we know it, that this is the birth of our Lord. And, you know, pause and reflect of what that little baby in the manger means to so many people, to the 3 wise men, to Mother Mary, to Joseph. And I'm really excited because this Saturday, I'm going to see one of our guest who's been on our podcast a couple times, Alex, and who is the director of Joseph, the movie. And he is putting on a candlelight production at St. Joseph's Church this Saturday in Charlton. So we are really excited. He keeps sending me some videos that he's been posting, and it really just gets you in the moment. It's really going to be but the reflection of light, and it's going to be all candlelit, and everyone's going to have a specific candle that we're presenting. And, you know, we just don't know what story. He is a whiz at production. He's a whiz at, you know, arrangements, whether it be flowers, whether it be plants. He's so talented. So we're so looking forward to seeing Alex Diaz this weekend and give him a big hug. I miss him, and you know, it's going to be amazing. So for, you know, and then of course we also talk about the entire week, right? Monday through Friday, how we got through Monday mindset, what we triumphed over Tuesday, what we celebrated with Wellness Wednesday, making sure that we're paying kindness forward, what's trending Thursday, which all leads us to Fantabulous Friday. And it's a good day to, especially moms or dads or the main caregiver, to slow down and say, pat yourself on the back. I did a good job. You know, check off those things that you got done, but don't get discouraged of the things that you didn't get done. Because guess what? You know, pivots happen in the journey, right, Jan?
Oh, pivots, yes. And by the way, everyone, I am back in the loft. It has been Wi-Fi hell week for me. And there's been a lot of pivots along with that. And the funny thing is, as much as I tried to get to my workout yesterday, I couldn't do it. But the funny thing was I did work out because I was running back and forth, back and forth. Now, for people who don't know where I live, our house is 150 feet long. So let me tell you, I got my steps in yesterday, back and forth, back and forth. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Like, I feel like I really did do a workout. But the other thing, and just segue back to my shirt for a moment. I forgot to say, excuse me, my Santa shirt says, "Dear Santa, please define naughty."
Speaking of naughty, obviously we celebrated Princess RaeRae's birthday yesterday. And there was a point in a conversation where we started talking about the holiday and Christmas and naughty versus nice. And so I looked at it, I said, so what would you classify yourself? Naughty or nice? So she goes, hello, nice. It's like,
Oh my God.
you never know what's going to come out of that girl's mouth. She's full of, she's like, or obviously, as we talked about, she turned 5 yesterday. She's 5 going on 45. She's got that kind of old soul about her, but she's very comical and a very dry sense of humor, funny. And she absolutely loved going for her pedicure and manicure. What's really nice about Creative Nails and Spa in Millbury, Massachusetts, shout out to them, is they do have 3 or 4 chairs in a row that are specifically for children. And they still have the whole massage thing going on. So she's like, oh, and she's just loving the back massage, automatic chair going. And, you know, they do an actual full pedicure, manicure. And she was just, so it was so funny. So we waited. And then obviously at the very end, when you're drying your nails, you go to another station to make sure everything's dried. So we sat there for a good 20 minutes and she says, really? Can we go now? So she had enough of that. And I said, well, the reason why. So we explained to her about the nails, you know, setting and drying. And they have this spray. There's a spray that you can put on that sets the nail polish. Well, before we got there, I know how my nails get. If I was to just dry them and put socks on, they're going to get all mushy. So we managed to find, we were at Target, and we managed to find like 3 or 4 pairs of flip-flops. And they only had one size 6. And Tina was like, no, I'm all set, Mom, you get them. So I did, because I just know. I said, you know, yesterday happened to be, I think it was 61 degrees was the high yesterday, which is very unusual. So I had my flip-flops on. And I said, no, we better wait a little bit longer to dry them. So we waited probably a good 20, 25 minutes at least. Sprayed them a couple times, re-dried them. They put on their socks and shoes. I, you know, kept my flip-flops on. We would go to Cold Stone Ice Cream to get her specific ice cream cupcakes that she wanted for celebration for that last night. And sure enough, we get home and they take them off and they're like, oh, we got one smudge. And Reagan goes, really? A smudge after all that time? And then Gina's like, really? I just spent how much? And I said, look, let's take some clear nail polish and just work the clear nail polish. And sometimes you can kind of maneuver the smudge. So we worked it out. But of course, Nani's is glitter gold because of New Year's that's coming up. The theme is gold, black, silver, and white. So I decided to go with glitter gold, and mine did not smudge because I was wearing flip-flops. But it was a fun time, fun week so far. We've only been here a few days, but you know, so far it's been amazing. I do understand that we're in for some white precipitation tomorrow, though, possibly. How about you guys?
I honestly haven't checked the weather because I've been so involved with the Wi-Fi issues, and then of course, you know, making sure everything's up and running. which is always interesting when you're trying to hook everything up. We have one TV that we can't hook up, and I knew that was going to happen because we have to get our extender up and running again. But big deal. I'm just like, okay, gotta let it go. The Wi-Fi is working now. The guy who came over, and I always forget his name, such a nice guy, got everything up and running. So we're good to go. And what is the worst possible scenario? So we can't turn on this TV. Big deal. Like, let it go. I think
let it go. As long as you've got one TV going, so you're good.
Well, we actually have two TVs going now,
and that's always good.
Yeah. So we, Poppy's TV up and
right.
running.
Do you really need the third going?
Right. We've got to get another Fire Stick, and we might have to get buy a new extender. And we had Roku, but Roku's all outdated now. It says it's not going to update, blah, blah, blah. So we're like, well, whatever, big deal.
Right.
We'll figure it out. So the way I look at it, it's all good. Yeah. Was I flustered? Was I frustrated? Yeah. Especially with going back and forth and, oh my God, I left that over there. Oh, I need this, or, oh crap, can't print anything out over there. And I thought about bringing my printer over there. I'm like, no, if I need to print it that bad, I'll just wait. Like, that's ridiculous.
And you just walk over it. And that's the whole point, is really learning how to pivot. And that is why we give you those great tools, because we know all of you are probably doing some pivoting yourselves, whether you are in the middle of baking and you realize you forgot one ingredient. Put it aside, do what you can, put it aside. Always, you can refrigerate it, run to the store, get what you need. And that is why we always talked really in heavy duty fashion about organization right before Thanksgiving, about double checking your cabinet, because it wasn't just Thanksgiving you were preparing for, it's the two other holidays after the fact, whether it's Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, Christmas, and then of course New Year's. Go through those cabinets, make sure you have all your spices, the amount of ingredients you need. Like, you get a pound of butter. Obviously I use plant-based butter. We're hoping that you're using healthy alternatives to make sure that you are keeping track, and that you don't go into New Year saying, oh, now I gotta, it's the New Year's resolution of getting the weight off again. No, you should already be preparing for that by eating healthy and just being, conscious of portions of what you're eating. But, keeping yourself organized really helps when you have to derail for whatever reason. You can handle the derailment a little bit better. So if you're missing an ingredient, or you know what, today's the day I'm going to be baking, don't wait to the day that you're baking. Do the inventory beforehand. Look in your cabinet. Jesus, my flour outdated. Baking soda, baking powder, that's probably the two most common things that get expired before you use them all. Baking soda, not so much in our house, because we use it a lot for multi-purposes for cleaning as well. So it's never expired. But baking powder is a whole other ball game. So, and then the question is, the debate this week about baking is, I've chatted with so many people about cookie baking, and some have said that in error, they've either misused whether it was the baking soda or the baking powder. They used the opposite of what the recipe called, and the cookies came out better. So that's interesting. So I would challenge all of you to, mix it up a little bit. If your recipe calls for baking soda or baking powder and it comes out great every time, obviously don't change a thing. But if you've noticed, I made peanut butter blossoms, and who doesn't love peanut butter blossoms any time of the year, but especially during Christmas time. Peanut butter cookie with the Hershey on top. You can also replace that Hershey Kiss for a dark chocolate Hershey Kiss, which is going to be a little bit healthier than the milk chocolate. Little ways. Some people are finding that they're cutting the peanut butter in half and actually adding peanut butter powder. Another great way to add more protein, but a healthier source of protein without the fat. Obviously, plant-based butter. But whether you're using baking soda or baking powder, some people notice they're coming out flat. And this person I was chatting with said, oh my God, I made them, but I know I reversed it. I didn't put whether it was the baking soda or the baking powder. And she goes, oh my God, they came out so fluffy. And I think that was what it was. Because I know I didn't have what the ingredient was in the house. So I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll use this instead. She goes, they came out even better. So you never know. Sometimes the mistake or the derailment comes out in a positive way. But we also want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves organized. Same thing with gift wrapping, right? Are you out of tape? That's probably the most common thing that we falter on as far as remembering to get extra tape or replenish the tape throughout the year. So now when you're over inundated with packages that you are wrapping, you realize, you're pulling that last little bit of that, and you keep stretching. You're like, there's got to be more to this roll. There's got to be more of this roll. So it's just about our doing inventory. If you have not sent out your Christmas cards, I am guilty of that. I always send out mine late. Guess what? I haven't even ordered them yet, but I'll order them because my feeling about Christmas is Christmas really, or the spirit from a Christian base. I believe it's 365 days of the year. So guess what? If you're a person that is always on the receiving end of one of my Christmas cards, if it doesn't get there by Christmas, I'm not upset about it. And don't you be upset about it. Because guess what? There's 12 days of Christmas. And a lot of people reverse it. They think the 12 days of Christmas is leading up to Christmas. It's actually the other way around. It's the 12 days after to the Epiphany, which is in January. And I believe it's January 6th, if I got my date right. I may not, but I'll have to double check that. So there are, the Christmas doesn't end on Christmas Day. And I know a lot of people immediately, some people even sadly take their tree down that night. Don't be such a rush, because that's like a rush of just getting the holiday over. And I know that's part of the process where people get, my decorations have been up since October. They got to go. I get that. So maybe next year, don't put them up so early and really enjoy what the season is about. Don't you think, Jan?
Yes, enjoy, excuse me, enjoy the season. And I want to talk about wrapping because, I always laugh at myself when I'm wrapping presents. And I know that many people have come across us specifically referring to tape. You can never find the flipping tape, right? So when I wrap presents, my favorite number is 5. So I'll have 5 tape things around me, because inevitably when you start taping, then you get this plethora of extra paper around you, and it's inevitably ends up underneath it. And you're like, okay, I just had that in my hand. Where did it go? I'm like, oh, well, I'll just take one of these. But then when you go through the 5, it's like, now, okay, now I really got to find them. So I think it's kind of comical in the sense that when you're wrapping, you have your tape, but it gets lost in the shuffle. And it's like, oh my God.
And do you know what the rule of thumb is? Do you know what the rule of thumb is for wrapping a gift with tape? And I learned this in high school. And I learned this trick. Well, it's not a trick. I learned this from Donna Winters at the time, Donna Bartolotta, that was her maiden name. I learned it from her brother, Mike Bartolotta, who worked at a jewelry store. And, obviously at a jewelry store, you're wrapping a lot of gifts. And he said, you only need 3 pieces of tape if you wrap correctly. So he says the frequent thing that many people misjudge is the amount of wrapping paper. So while a lot of the wrapping paper rolls now are great, they've got the grids on the backside so you can easily fit it. He said you only want to be no more than 1 inch off of the present that you're wrapping on either end. Number 1, that's the first rule of thumb. You want to make sure when you're folding it on the inside that you don't have so much wrapping paper that you're folding it under to make sure that it meets correctly. But you don't want to shortchange yourself as well. So you want to measure it out correctly. That's the first big key. The second big key with the 3 pieces of tape, so you don't run out of tape, if you've measured out the paper correctly, you should only need 3 pieces of tape, 1 in the middle of the back side of where the 2 sides meet. And then on either end, you shouldn't have this excess of tape, excess of paper, because you've already made sure that you only had 1 inch overload. You want to fold in on an angle your bottom piece, and you're going to do that by pushing in the middle of the ends. So, and then you're going to make a nice triangle crease on the bottom. You're going to make a nice triangle crease on the top, and on the top and the bottom, wherever your package ends, you use your fingers and just, draw a line. So you've got a nice crease, and then you're going to fold the top in, and you're going to fold the bottom in and the top in. And all you need, because now everything's all crisp, is one piece of tape to hold that side as well as the other side. And he said, and you'd be surprised that it does stay secure because you don't have this abundance of wrapping paper. You've measured it out quickly, and it doesn't take that long. I mean, it's, oh, I'm now going to measure out the wrapping. It's brainless to do it if you actually have, and if you don't, women are pretty good, especially women, about, you know, wrapping quickly. But he said to do the job correctly, you really only need 3 pieces of tape, plus it makes the person receiving the gift much easier to unwrap. Now, of course, we know kids just gotta wrap, you know, rip it apart. But you also, you know, some people just, you know, they got the tape going on all other different ends. He said unnecessary. And that was a trick I learned, geez, I think when I was, I'm gonna say about 16 years old. So I've always done that. So that's how old that little trick is that I still use.
That's pretty
And I hope
cool.
all of you use it. So that way you're going to save money. You're not going to be buying as much tape. You're going to save on wrapping paper because you're not going to be wasting it. And save, you know, the little extra pieces that you cut off, save them. Because a lot of times people will crumple up and throw them out. And guess what? Then you have this little thing you got to wrap in. But where happened to that little piece I had? So I always save them. And if I don't use them, I still save them for the next year.
Right.
And
Those are great tips. And then the other story that I heard yesterday, there apparently is a huge shortage with cream cheese. Everybody is flipping out because not only with baking, but cooking, a lot of people use cream cheese in their recipes. And I thought to myself, well, isn't that interesting? Why is there a shortage on cream cheese? And I guess what they did was, and specifically I'm chatting about Philadelphia cream cheese, but cream cheese as a whole, they said there's a major shortage. But what Philadelphia cream cheese did was come out with, I guess, all these different flavors for the holidays. And they were saying, well, because there's a shortage, they wanted to offer different alternatives, which is great. But, you know, like, for instance, I love strawberry cream cheese, but how I could probably bake with it, but I obviously probably cannot cook with it. But I thought it was interesting. Like, why is there such a shortage? I don't know.
Well, there was also a shortage on half and half as well.
Yeah, I had heard that too.
So, you know, I don't know, is that impacting the farmers? Is the cows not producing? Or, I don't know, is there cargo ships just floating around?
Yeah.
You never know. I actually, you know, that doesn't really, I'm happy to say, because of, you know, going dairy free, I will gladly tell you that if you are in need of cream cheese and there's a shortage in wherever the area you're at, please go check out the vegan section, because I'm telling you, the vegan cream cheese that I've used for, because I always put cream cheese, a little bit of cream cheese in my mashed potatoes to make them that much creamier. Less, I use plant butter as well. But when I was using real butter, I wanted to cut down on some of that fat, and, you know, that type of fat versus cream cheese fat, which at that time, of course, in real life, it's fat. However, I've switched over to vegan plant-based butter and vegan cream cheese, and it's a great alternative. So for those of you that, you know, are baking with the cream cheese and you can't find any, try the vegan. I mean, I don't know how good it would work, but you know what? Why not try it?
Absolutely. So those are great little tips for cooking, for baking, wrapping. Gosh, we covered kind of a gamut of other things. And wow, so much goodness happening. It's how I love this time of year. And I've been playing Christmas carols, and I like the older channels. So I play Sirius XM channel 71. And it kind of reminds me, you know, obviously of, you know, Christmases long ago when we were kids. And I was chatting about the Christmas ornaments, and I think of those older Christmas ornaments that I love. And I just love that station. And I'm able to play it through my Google Nest, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so we're all good for the holidays here. Exciting times.
It is for sure. And it's Fantabulous Friday. So don't forget, celebrate your wins, embrace the things that you didn't get done, because guess what? We all have to be accountable, but we're all human. We are in a really busy season this time of year, end of the year, parties, Christmas, you're getting through that holiday. And then, a week later, you got New Year's. So there's a lot going on in our world, a lot going in our communities, a lot going in our family's life. And we want you to make sure that you stay on track with your health, your wellness. If you're baking, make sure that if you're sitting, you get up and walk around. If you're one of those ones that loves to knit, make those homemade gifts and you're sitting doing that, make sure you get up and walk around a little bit. There are great ways that you can stay on track just by attending and being a part of our podcast Monday through Friday, where we talk about those essential pieces that are going to keep you on track, from health, from wellness to mindset to being accountable and being organized. With that, we will have a shorter week next week. We'll be on Monday through Wednesday. And because we want you to be able to, you already got the tools that we give you most of the week. So we have faith that when we come back, you're going to share all the goodness, and we love hearing from you. With that, this is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live in Princess RaeRae's castle with two
sisters. Hey everyone, it's Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, back in the loft, and way to go to my virtual classroom. Everyone have a great day, great weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.